School 202.
Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't. Oh, yo, what up? GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? Sexual Revolutions being podcasted. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited and a little disappointed. Tri-State Mike in the building. What up, baby?
What's up, baby? Missed you last week.
Yeah.
How you feeling? Good?
I'm better. I'm getting there.
Big episode. Still got to have you at least.
Yeah. I heard that episode's like 400,000 or 500,000 on that.
Yeah, it's doing all right, man.
Yeah, we had
what is that? The Barbara Streisand effect when you don't want someone to see something and now the whole world's seeing it.
Yeah. It's we just had to be honest about that whole Lord Jamal fucking whatever flat earth debacle, whatever the fuck. Xavier, my man Xavier. Hold on. Where's my let's see. Is there a number? Shit. I don't know. Xavier Corina sent the $5. He always my dude, he always looking out, always supporting. That's real credibility, baby. That's when you go, oh, this show gives me value and a place to kind of express. Where's the horn? Shout out to Xavier Corina in the building. Thank you for the $5 on the Cash App. We didn't even put the Cash App up yet, and he's already banging it out. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you. I don't even know how much that means to me, and just the fact that I just got loyal fans that fuck with me weekly. Telephone numbers up 347-464-2827. I had a question from somebody asked me. As long as I've been doing consultations and helping dudes out and whatnot, somebody asked me what was the thing that I learned most of all from from doing consultations year after year after year and helping so many people. And I thought about it and I said to myself, nobody listens to me. That's what I learned more than anything, Mike.
Well, even the ones who listen sometimes will call up and just not be listening.
Not be listening.
They hear it, but they're not listening.
But it always takes them time. Shout out to Rico Knight, Rico King. Come on, that's what's up. $10 on the Cash App. That's what I'm talking about. They giving me that love now. Like it's just I had to, it's credibility is supporting the people that support you, and that's what I think we do. We little tragedy. Mike is getting pulled away producer wise to another show. So Tri-State Mike is not going to be on the show much. But we do have Evil Joe List in the building. We'll see how that works. But a shout out to Rico King and Xavier for the Cash App. Cash App is up on the screen. But yeah, I was just saying that nobody listens. I mean, even when they listen, I think they don't believe me what I'm saying. And I don't really hold it against them because I think that some of the stuff that I say is so much more counterintuitive. We got a call? Go ahead, let's go. I'll get back to this.
He hung up. Never mind.
It's counterintuitive to what people would normally do. Yeah, we got a call. Let's go.
Call, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Dante? How you doing?
What's going on? Who am I speaking to, and where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Dante? This is Xavier from California, Bay Area.
Oh, Zabe, what's going on, bro? Thank you, man. Thanks for always looking out, man, and send a little something, for the,
Yeah, thank you, man. The show's made me a better man.
I appreciate that, bro.
No shit. Sorry, my bad. I shouldn't curse in your show.
No, I don't.
No kidding.
We talk about all sorts of
you can curse. You can curse. I just don't. You can't say grape and unalive.
We're YouTube dirty.
Yeah. We're YouTube dirty. But
yeah.
But I appreciate you, Zabe. What's going on, bro? How you?
Pretty good. No, I was just calling because credibility, man. given the entire political sphere, I get it. People believe what they believe in,
Yeah,
but I had a realization where it's like I had been cool with a lot of people that went with the orange man that have
yeah,
no sympathy.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
And I had a realization that a lot of the people that made me into the great man that I am,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they're affected by all this shit.
yeah,
And so with people when they're like, "Yo, I don't care about that. It doesn't affect me." I'm like, okay, so then that messes with my credibility if I'm cool with these people. I
yeah,
don't know. That's just me personally. So I just want to say, right on. It's strengthened friendships.
yeah,
It's weakened ones that aren't worth it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
thank you, man.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, Xavier. Here's a crazy thing. And I'm finding this about my own in my own life. And I mean, with as much as I'm talking this stuff and teaching as I go on, I'm 58 years old, so I've been through a lot, and but my friendship circles are changing as well. Because
Yep.
I'm actually here's an interesting thing. When I was 40 years old, I decided that I would no longer let people in my life that I feel are a detriment to my life. You know what I mean? Like if they
Yep.
create
Hmm.
problems, if every time I talk to them, it costs me some money or time. And I'm not saying that people don't go through stuff in friendships. That's what friends are for, is to look out for each other. But when you talk about people whose constitution is to always be a problem, right? I started
Yeah.
eliminating them when I was 40. Then when I turned 50, there were people who didn't add to my life, but they
Yeah.
didn't detract from my life, really. It was kind of a neutral.
Right. Right.
But then I started to realize is when you've seen more sunsets than you're gonna see, you start to realize that time is the commodity, and even time not being used to progress is taking something away from you. You know, so
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
so when you have people who are just neutral, you got to get rid of them too. So
Yeah.
if they're
Yeah.
not enhancing your life in some shape or form, then you got to eliminate them. And it's funny when you talk about the whole orange man thing, and just people let this lack of empathy where people are, ICE is raiding motherfuckers and this, but you got to understand that a lot of the Latinos that went that way, that voted for this, who are now getting deported, right? They didn't give a
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
about nobody else. They
That's
didn't.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they
I
didn't
feel
care
for
how
their
this
family
affect.
getting deported. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're right, but they didn't give a fuck about other people's lives and how it was affected, and there's a like everybody knows that I'm not a religious person, but you got to understand that community is important. The fact that we give a fuck about each other and that we want the collective agreement that we're going to do better by each other in community is which makes our society better. It gives us all a higher level of happiness. And when we disregard community like that, it hurts everybody. It hurts the level of happiness overall. When it comes to humanity. So, man, every time I go live, Mike, every time I go live, Xavier throw, if it's a fiver or a 10 something, he just, and I appreciate that, because and I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna sound a little crazy, but there's a feeling that you get from supporting people that support you. You know, um,
Oh yeah.
there's a confidence, and a degree of self-worth when you support the people that support you. And
Oh
as
yeah.
as much as it puts a few dollars in my pocket, but it is a way in which that you can look at yourself in the mirror and go, look, I support the people who support me, and that gives you a level of confidence you wouldn't normally have, unless if you're just shoplifting the information and not really
Hmm.
contributing and
Hmm.
not pushing it to other people and not spending time spreading the word, especially if this becomes a life philosophy. So, man, I just want to say I really appreciate you, and Rico sent me a little something too, sent me $10 in the Cash App. And I just want to say I really appreciate y'all, man, because you're really starting to understand that the principles go deeper than just me running my mouth. Because when you execute these principles, your life changes, and it's amazing how drastic your life can change. I mean, just even talking to you from when the first time you called in, I can feel a difference in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like, Mr. Dante, how you know? Now I'm like, hey, Dante, how you doing?
Yeah, what's going on? But yeah, so it's so I appreciate you, bro. You got any question or anything, or did you just want to call and say what's up? And I appreciate you calling in and just going what's up too. So whichever.
No, I just wanted to share that because, you know, it's the credibility, and it goes back to that thing that you say, like, this is your guy,
Yeah.
but it's also on the other side, it's like, this is our guy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, but
that's
it's gonna,
Dante.
you know, the when people have this constitution of selfishness, it affects, it bites everybody in the ass eventually, and that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see that. So, I appreciate you, Zabe. Thanks for calling in, bro.
Yep.
All right, bro. Peace. Yeah, I was saying that somebody asked me what's the thing that is most of all the issue, that what I've learned more is just people don't listen to me. They don't believe me, and I believe because a lot of times it's so counterintuitive. The way of thinking goes against what everything tells you. You know, everybody you want women, you got to have cars and planes and Bentleys and stuff like that, and it ain't even like that. And it's not that you can't have those things too, but when you have no credibility, no, you're inauthentic. When you are unempathetic, I've seen guys who I literally we would consider famous, and the shadiness of the fact that they stand for nothing. You know, you just look at people like what the fuck are you doing? You know, I don't know if y'all have been watching the whole flat Earth thing that was been going on with Lord Jamal but I have nothing to hide. You know, I have nothing to hide I'm everything I did as far as that dude was concerned was above board, and it was with the intention on kindness and civility. And so anybody to say that I was anything else is just you're a liar. You're a liar, because I don't operate in that way. And you'd be hard pressed to find somebody to tell you that I do operate differently than that. So, you know, you got to live. If you're living this and you're living these principles, your life changes in honest, in seriously honest ways. Big shout out to Nikki. Nikki just sent me $10 in the Cash App. Thank you, Nikki. You're the best. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And I appreciate you. I mean, I'm talking about this not because I'm trying to get everybody to give me some money, although I don't mind. Give me some money. Yeah, it's an interesting thing because what you find is that you really, like I've said this, we got a call. Let's go.
Call, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah, what's your name? Where you calling from, family?
Oh, what's good, bro? This is Nikki Black calling from Albany, New York.
What up, Nikki? What's going on? Thanks for the 10.
Chilling.
Appreciate
you. Man, you got it. I just want to let you know I'm a fan since the Patrice O'Neal days, bro. I listen to that the Black Phillip show all the time. Listen to you dropping Jews on there. Listen to you dropping Jews on Godfrey. You know, my main reason for calling was like brilliant. The way you handled that Lord Jamal situation, man, that was like, you know, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was a little crazy.
Nah, it was like, if I could be real brief, man.
Nah, spit it out.
Lord Jamal has been bugging for some years now.
Right.
And it's when he was talking about Eminem, I'll say this, when he was talking about Eminem, I kind of agreed with his, whatever, certain things that he said. But Eminem responded in the hip hop form. You know, Eminem said, I come in there, put my feet on your table, boom, blase, boom. Now, Lord Jamal is a rapper.
Yeah.
So all that crap he was talking with Vlad, so when Eminem finally responded, you as a rapper, you should have responded back.
You should have responded
with
in
some
like,
bars, but
in
he
kind.
didn't. That was strike one. Strike two, I'm a fan of Umar Johnson. That's just me.
Right, right.
I like
I get
certain
you.
people.
I get you.
Umar Johnson was on the show one day, and then Lord Jamar and Umar got into it, and whatever. That was strike 2.
What
Strike
was the
3,
what was
flat
the beef with Umar and him? I didn't even know this.
Oh, the beef with because they was talking about Umar's school, and he was
Okay.
telling them like how you get your school started, how there's schools in New York, how they get started and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Umar just doing it, this straight independent way. It's going to be difficult for him to get that school off, in my opinion, because
Right.
he's against, the views of LGBT,
Yeah.
interracial dating, relationships, marriage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the school is there. He's not a scammer. The school is there.
Oh, it is.
The building
Okay.
is there.
Okay.
So that was strike 2. Strike 3 was the flat earther, and strike 4 would just be the way he handled the situation with Professor Dave.
Yeah.
Then there's other stuff, man. It's like
I think he was right. I think he was right about the Fat Joe thing to a certain extent, because people that I know kind of verified that. I mean, also it's funny because I don't know if you know, like I'm a little older than you, and the first rap record I've ever seen pressed was King Tim III by the Fatback Band. That was the first rap. I mean, now there was stuff. Now, if you talking about Gil Scott Heron and even prior to that, there was stuff that was you know what I'm saying, where guys was scatting and rapping. I mean, even with Dolomite and Esther Jones from Sanford and Son. I mean, they were doing that. They were rapping and talking shit before. So yeah, it absolutely was foundationally black, and then, but I mean, a broken clock can be right twice a day, you know what I mean? So, but I that's not even the point. I think the point is just that there's a lack of righteousness. I mean, I approach my life every day, get up, put my feet on the ground, and I approach it with truth, credibility, and empathy and some level of understanding. And I understand that everybody doesn't have my opinion, and a lot of times everybody don't have my experience. And me being a stand-up comic, I talk this relationship stuff so much, but I'm a stand-up comic at the core. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't even understand that that's what I do. I make my living doing stand-up comedy. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 24 years. And I don't really push that enough because I save it for the stage. But, I think when you operate as a man, you operate as a man with a certain level of respect for yourself and how people perceive you. I mean, I not just perceive you. I don't even think I'm looking at how it perceives. I just... I know that if I put out righteousness, it will be received that way. And I think that's what really happened was the fact that, I don't think Lord Jamal approached this whole situation in the same way.
Can I interject for 1 second?
Sure.
Now, I just want to go back to the Fat Joe thing.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why, and I know people say FBA. I hear Godfrey say FBA. I used to roll with Tariq Nasheed, not physically, but just with them. And what I started noticing that FBA, they say it's a lineage, but it started becoming like a hate group. I
agree.
They started putting too much division out there. Like when there's just too much division already as it is. And Malcolm X said back in the days, if you hate the tree, then you got to hate the roots, the origins.
Yeah.
You got to hate the roots of the tree as well. So it's just like all this division. And there's Puerto Ricans, there's Dominicans, there's Cubans. There's a lot of us who they will admit that they have black in them. But when we started arguing about the origins of hip hop, bro, it was like for over 40-something years, even though it's 52, over 40-something years, nobody had a problem with it. First time I heard about the origins was on KRS-One South Bronx.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody had a problem with it, and then all of a sudden, when they started this xenophobic talk, this rhetoric, Tariq started running with all this other crap, and then it just got out of hand to the point where now it just is black versus Puerto Ricans and black Americans versus Jamaicans, Haitians, Africans. I'm just like, yo, bro, like we ain't gonna get nowhere.
I agree with you. I also think that you can say I think you can say where the origins were, and not be hate-filled. But you got to understand something. When you're talking about white supremacy and you're talking about people wanting to be accepted by that white gaze, the white acceptance, or what we call white proximity, right? It's people want to be, I mean, this is just the case with Cubans and Puerto Ricans. I mean, there is a colorism within those communities, and I think those things. So I agree with you 100%. It does create the division, but I think that all of a sudden to put that on Tariq, and I do agree. I think he kind of goes a little overboard. I mean, the fact that Tariq was riding for Trump was crazy, considering what we're seeing now. Like we're talking, we're a couple of days in, and they're pulling people over, snatching them and shipping them. You know what I'm saying? Just shipping them to Vegas in the concentration camps, basically. And there's so I mean, there's something to that, but I think that you have to give people a pathway to come back and to kind of unite too. And if it's so adversarial that you don't give people an opportunity, because the only people that suffer from this is everybody. I mean, what we need to understand that this is a class war. Yes, it is a race war, but it's a race war based on class, and the rich people don't give a fuck about nobody. They don't give a fuck about working class white folks. They don't give a fuck about Jews or Latinos or Mexicans or Cubans, and they sure don't give a fuck about black people. So I mean, this idea of the fact that we want to side with the winning team when the winning team doesn't, they don't mean you no good either. I think we got to call that out as well. So I get you, but I think there's a balance. There's a balance to this. There's definitely a balance to this, and I don't know. We everybody's gonna fuck around and find out. I mark my words. This is coming down. I mean, they're trying to overturn the 14th Amendment, Civil Rights Amendment, DEI, affirmative action, and as soon as you say DEI, people think black people. But DEI is everybody. It's this civil rights. If you overturn the civil rights bill, civil rights is everybody. It's women, men, Asians, black, poor people, disabled, veterans, this, that, and the other. But they've codified this in a way that it really makes people go, DEI means unqualified black people, which is absurd, because just as a black man, I mean, I was told you got to be 10 times better than any white dude to get half the success. And if we look at statistically, education, so on and so forth, jobs and hiring and so on and so forth, and black sounding names and all of these things, it pans out with the statistics. So, but yeah, I mean, but it's interesting how all I did was tell the truth.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's all I did was tell the truth. I didn't say
one final thing.
Yeah,
brother, the most outrageous thing about this, the whole thing between you and Lord Jamal.
Yeah.
You drugged him.
Yeah.
Yo,
I mean,
bro,
and
that's next. That right there is next level, and wanting to take Godfrey to court, next level.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. Even I'm going to tell you something else that was crazy when he was. He just kept talking about I was an ex pimp, and like I said, yeah, okay, I've never hid that from anybody. You know what I'm saying? I've always been open. It's one of the reasons why I'm not a pimp is because I've been a stand-up comic for 24 years. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not in the pimp game because I didn't have the ethical stomach to continue. That was a period of my time when I was 20 years old, and I've moved on for that. And I think that my life is, everybody makes mistakes, and people learn and grow, and I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for those things that I went through. But I mean, to when you keep saying that, when that becomes, I'm not that I'm a comedian, not that I'm an accomplished actor, not that I'm an accomplished relationship advice and life coach, that I'm an ex-pimp, and you reduce me to that, that's also shots fired. whether people realize it or not. I mean, I maybe some people wear it as a badge of honor. I don't deny it, but it's not something that I wear as a badge of honor either. You feel me? So, and it's so simple because if you just live righteously and you tell the truth, you're bulletproof. Yo, you tried to drug me? No, I didn't. I know you smoke weed. I know you like smoking weed, so I'm gonna bring you the best that I got. That was really my thought process, you know. Mm-hmm. And Mike, Tri-State Mike will tell you, I hook motherfuckers every time I come. Am I right, Mike?
I mean, I don't want you to bring me into this only because I feel like the weed you bring I have to agree with Lord Jamar. It's too strong.
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough.
If you notice, sometimes it takes me a while to pull shit up.
I haven't really noticed.
It's because I'm loopy back here, man.
I haven't really noticed that, but I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad you said that, but you know when I hook you up.
No, you didn't drug anyone.
Right, but you know the reason why I hook you up is because it's the good shit.
I smoke weed, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. We're about to be here for 3 hours. Let me get a little high first.
And I guess, but is it really that bad, Mike?
No, I'm fucking around.
I mean, okay, but I mean, it
fucks me up, but it's weed. It's supposed to. It does what it doesn't. Like, it's like if I had a couple of shots of alcohol, I was like, yo, you got me fucked. I was like, you had a couple of shots of alcohol. You did your thing.
Yo, Dante, one last thing is, can Lord Jamar redeem himself, or has he ruined his legacy?
I think all you got to do is just live righteous, bro. I mean, we talk about this every day, and I say that the greatest thing, you've heard me say this on the show plenty of times. The greatest thing in the world about being a sucker is tomorrow you don't have to be. And I'm not calling him a sucker. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I don't really give a fuck about that. But I'm just saying, when you have done things where people judge you based on your actions, just because you change today, everybody ain't gonna jump on board and be like, oh, okay, he's different now. You gotta earn. You know what I mean? You gotta earn your way back. But if your overall perspective is righteousness, people will see it eventually. And the people who are not willing to, one of the things that I say all the time, two things you will always have to do as a human being is ask for forgiveness and give forgiveness. That's part of being a human being. Nobody is perfect. So I'm going to just relate that to relationships. So if you're in a relationship and you've done something wrong, look, even if you're cheating, if you're sincerely apologizing and somebody doesn't have to forgive you, right? But you still have to approach things with a righteousness. I made this mistake and I'm going to show, because an apology, saying I'm sorry is an action word. It has to be met with action. And when people show that when you show action with what you do and say, people acknowledge that. Now, some people can't. Some people are so high and mighty that they act like they don't make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? That nobody is in the realm of making mistakes and everybody's perfect, so you judge people in ways that you don't want to be judged yourself. But those are also people, you move on. You know what I mean? Your life moves on and you move away from those people, and those people, they lose validity in your life, and you move on with bigger and better things and people who understand humanity, So I think all you have to just be righteous. All right. Stop yapping about stuff you don't know. If you don't know, to spread misinformation without you checking making sure. And I'll tell you something really quick. I mean, anybody who knows me and they know my history, that I was one of the founders of the Proud Boys. I don't know if y'all knew that. I mean, it's something I didn't talk about. I went with the guy who started the Proud Boys was this guy named Gavin McGinnis, and I was going on there teaching young incel dudes who was in the Proud Boys how to approach women and how to that was something I was doing that. During the whole idea, they used to call me the Pope of the Proud Boys. I was the spiritual leader, and what happened there was all this racial stuff is why I distanced myself from it, because it gave a place for people who are white supremacists and racists and hateful, a way to kind of make themselves, because that's what it's really about. When I'm better than you because of my whiteness. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm better than you, instead of being better than me because of who you are and the content of your character. And so, but here's the thing. I'm very careful about what comes out my mouth because I know that not being careful about what you say creates the Proud Boys. I mean, that woman died in Charlottesville, got run over by a car, the Heather Heyer. She got run over by the same dudes who I was teaching how to get laid. They set up the Unite the Right. I mean, if you there's a podcast called White Haze, which is on This American Life, one of the biggest podcasts. They interviewed me, and I there's a whole interview about it. But what I'm saying is when I saw that it wasn't, that they weren't being righteous, then I removed myself and I created distance, and I tried to kind of give guidance when it came to that, but it was guidance that that people didn't want. But I was also very, and I was talking about the same thing, which was I was talking about Ace back then. The difference was that they ignored the empathy part. You see, you can't be a hate group and not have empathy. You know? So the principles that when you talk about man school is so foolproof because truth doesn't allow you to lie. Credibility is something that controls your actions, and empathy doesn't allow you not to see things from other people's perspective, you know? And what I didn't do is I didn't emphasize the empathy as much because I just thought that people would get it. You know, I mean, just, you know, take my message in its entirety, and people didn't do that, and you end up with the Proud Boys, you know? So this is why I'm so adamant about this internet thing is a powerful thing, and people care about you, people listen to you, people admire you, and what you say matters. So when you're a dude and you're talking about flat earth, right? And you're, you know, and you haven't done the research, you haven't even put the time and the effort in to even understand what the argument is, you're giving people misinformation. Like what part of the game is that? Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, that's why I brought Professor Dave on in the first place, because of the simple fact that I was like, hey, I'm not equipped to have this conversation, so let me get somebody who is equipped. Do you know what I'm saying? And I will always defer to somebody who knows more than me. And here's the crazy thing. You know, there's like people like, I don't believe in the moon landing. I don't believe in gravity. I don't believe in evolution. Dog, you can do research and understand. And if you don't understand these concepts, it's not. We're at an information age where you can learn whatever you want to learn. And just because you're not smart enough to understand it doesn't mean it's bullshit. So, but I appreciate you calling, Nick. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for.
No doubt, brother.
You know,
next time when you on live again, so I want to chop it up about the women next time.
I'll be up there on Thursday. Thursday I'll be live again. So we'll rock
Thursday, like at what time?
I usually go on like 8:00. 8:00 we rock.
8:00?
Yeah.
All right, big brother.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Nicky.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I really feel like I've really honed this thing down and polished this thing down to crystallize it to the point where I understand that it really is foolproof. It's like, man, just tell the truth. Tell the truth. The promises that you make. We got a call. Let's go. The promises that you make, keep them. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Sorry. Hey, this is Trey from Diego.
What up, Trey? What's going on? How can I help you, family?
What's good? Hey, Dante, I just had a real quick question. I don't want to waste too much of your time.
Go.
But, you know, listening to Godfrey's podcast, you know, I learned a lot about different comedians I never heard of. From yourself to Corey Holcomb to T.K. Kirkland to Keith Robinson, right?
Yeah.
But I said all that just to say, who was the guy in between you and Jamar that episode? Was he a comedian?
Nah, that was just Jamar's man. That was his boy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind then. Because I wanted to look above if he wasn't.
Nah, really good dude though. Cool. Actually, was really good, but that was just Jamar's boy. You know, he was just rolling.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't get to see that episode, but I seen him. I said, "Oh, damn, is that a comedian?" All right, thanks, Dante.
Yeah. But there's dudes. I mean, there's dudes in this game, and you mentioned some killers like Corey and TK and Godfrey and me, and we've been doing this thing, and you know, we just was out in Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. I love me some Baltimore. Baltimore ghetto as shit. I feel so at home.
Hey, Dante, I always remember when you bring up Baltimore, when you brought up the you was at the boxing match and you said they was dressed.
Oh yeah.
I always remember that.
Yeah, that was Tank Davis, because Tank's from Baltimore, and it was, you know, it was at Barclays, and I was like, oh, this is seamless. The hood, the ball. I love me some Baltimore, but yeah, man. Yeah, but there's a lot of dudes. You know, there's a lot of dudes who don't really get the props. I mean, and I don't mention it enough. I also don't mention that I do stand up nearly enough, and I've been in a shitload of movies too. You know, I'm an accomplished actor, so it's a. But you know, you get to the point where you're not used to blowing your own horn. You know, you're so busy creating new memories that you're not sucking your own dick, you know, trying to tell everybody what you did. You know, you're just blowing yourself all the time. It's like, come on, man, stop. But I mean, you gotta. It's funny. This is also social media where you need to let people know. Listen, I am a stand-up comedian. Follow my YouTube page on Dante Nero, Dante, Dante Nero, and follow me and check out my stuff, because I'm a bad motherfucker. You know, I'm a bad motherfucker.
Man, you legit. Legit.
Yeah.
For sure.
I appreciate you, yo. Thanks for calling. Yeah, put that number up too. Let's get that number up in the Cash App, 347-464-2827. Let's get some relationship questions here. Yeah, I was also talking about the fact that we, you know, it's so hard for people to believe. You know, like, it's when I do consultations, and don't forget, y'all, if y'all need any help with anything, DanteNero.com, click on consult, and you can book a one-on-one consultation with me, and it's just so much of which you realize that there's so much stuff I guess, clutter in the course of our emotional development. We got a call. Let's go. That we have to clean out in order to be better dudes. What's your name? Where you calling from, family?
Hey, what's up, brother? This is Ace calling from Philly.
What's up, Ace? What's going on, bro? How you?
Good, man. It's a kind of a relationship question.
Yeah, let's go.
You know what I'm saying? But it's on some politics shit too. You know what I mean? So basically, you know, I voted for Kamala Harris.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And my wife, she was on some Donald Trump shit.
Okay.
But at the same time, you know, I schooled her like, yo,
right.
first of all, my wife is Puerto Rican.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And at the same time, she and you know, when it came down to like Trump talking about that fucking I'm sorry, excuse my language.
Yeah,
Trump was talking about that you know, deportation before November the 5th. And I'm like, yo, you got two of your best friends are from Venezuela.
Yeah.
And they not documented. Are you serious? What's going on with
and
you?
What was her response to that?
Okay, she literally bowed down and was like, you know what? You're right. I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to you know, the November 5th at the booth, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I voted for Kamala Harris.
Right.
And she voted for Kamala Harris, so she say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
right.
I believe her because that's my wife. She's not the type that'll lie to me. But long story short,
yeah.
Last week, you know what I'm saying, when Trump was doing that deportation stuff,
yeah.
Guess what?
They got snatched.
Her two of her best friends
got snatched.
Came over to my crib.
Yeah.
And was begging us for them to stay over.
Right.
Okay.
Because they didn't want to travel.
One got a boy, one got a girl.
Yeah.
And these two dudes came over. I was like, nah. I don't play that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all dudes, y'all gotta find your own way. I'm gonna accept y'all girls.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? So they over my crib now as we speak.
Oh,
they
were hiding out. They're hiding out.
Literally, they both got jobs. They both work One of them work at a hotel doing her thing, undocumented.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she still pays taxes.
Yeah.
And the other one work at I think it's a restaurant or something like that, doing her thing, and she pays taxes.
Right.
But they scared, man. They scared. They over my. They like I got a 2-bedroom crib. You know what I'm saying? And both the bedrooms got their own bathrooms. Long story short, you know, they in the other bedroom, the girls and the boy and the girl, 2 girls and the boy and the 2 babies. You know what I'm saying? They chilling or whatever over here. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at my wife like, you see?
Now, what was her response to that?
She was like, yo, I'm sorry, yo. I'm sorry. I didn't. First of all, she was saying she was down with Trump because, you know, he speaks the truth. This, that, and that. I'm like, he's a liar. Are you serious? You believe the stuff that he says? And I'm proving it to her, all the lies that he said. And you know, and she's like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. And like, you know, he speaks his mind. No, he is lying. He speaks his mind just to influence everybody, like the ignorant people. You know, you remember when you say, I love the uneducated, this, that, and the third. And I broke that down to her. I'm like, are you serious? Please, like, cut it out.
Well,
don't be stupid.
First of all, you got to understand something that I say all the time is that if you are trustworthy 95% of the time, that's a definition of a liar. You understand?
Right.
So there is no margin or wiggle room to be a liar. You're either a person that tells the truth or you're a person that don't tell the truth. You don't there's no percentage of that. So I'm gonna tell you like this. And you from Philly, so I can tell you got a little edge on you. But I'm gonna tell you the first thing that was just, you know, when we look at this logically, right? Here's the thing. I may or may not have hustled at some point in time in my life. I cannot deny or confirm, right? But here's the thing. I'm gonna just speak it in street terms. Let's say I'm trying to get a bird. I'm trying to get a bird, right? If anybody don't know what a bird, it's a quantity of drugs. And I at the time, and I go and let's say it's 16, 18 grand to get a bird. Well, you know, like I've been out of the game for a long time, so that's
cheap. That's
right,
cheap,
right. So here, but if I go if I went up to Washington Heights and I go to see the Dominicans and I go to get a bird, right? And I got 18 grand on me, and they take my 18 grand and don't give me product, right? We don't have business. Do you understand?
Right.
So what I'm saying is, even in the drug game, right, there has to be a certain level of etiquette that's involved. I have to be able to give you money. You have to be able to give me product. And there's a code of ethics that we have to operate on, right? Because if I go and you beat me out of the 18 grand, I'm never going back.
Yeah.
So now you, who is the supplier, you can't sell nothing because you've been known to double cross motherfuckers and just take their money and not. You have to have an etiquette of the fact that I can show up with money and get product, right?
True.
So here's my thing. When you and I talk about this, like whatever you want to think about Donald Trump, whatever you want to think about Mike Pence, right? Mike Pence carry water for your man from the beginning, since he came down the escalator, right? Now, if you could turn on that dude, right, on January, when you turn on that dude and you go, yeah, well, he didn't, you know, like this dude carried water for him the whole time, lied, covered up, this, that, the other, and then when January 6th, you go, well, hang Mike Pence. Maybe he just don't love this country, and you turn against the dude, your man. You know what I'm saying? That's your man. If he could turn on him, then he could turn on anybody. And so just on regular street rules, right? What it says to me is this is somebody who has no ethical boundaries, has no code. Right? So whether or not you think, whether you agree, if you're white supremacist, if you think that Mexicans need to get out the country, the border, blah, 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 this, that, the other, DEI, whatever you think, but what you're talking about is on a fundamental level where somebody have no code of ethics.
True.
And even when we're talking about in the drug game, there is a code of ethics, right?
Yeah.
And if we don't operate on a basic fundamental code of ethics, then hey, we can't. Then you can't do business. And so what you find is this dude has turned against people who carried water for him.
Yes.
On every level, and it's no holds barred. I mean, if you don't do what he wants, then then all of a sudden you ain't this and you ain't that, and then Mike Johnson and just in general, So what we're talking about is somebody who doesn't have who has no credibility, even in the context of even if you want to talk about. So I've been told I had a guy come on and tell me that I'm I got Trump derangement syndrome, and I said to them, I spit the same thing that I always: truth, credibility, and empathy. Now, if you could show me how Trump embodies any of those principles at any given time, right? Other than his own personal selfishness, then I mean you better than me, because I can't think of a time when he hasn't crossed his own people out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Turned against his own people. And so if he'll turn on them, then he'll turn on you. So that means that there is no ethical code. There's no standard that we operate on. You know what I mean? Which in a way is a lot like what went down with Lord Jamal and Godfrey.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
If you could just turn on me like that. I need to understand that that's your constitution. That's who you are. There's no loyalty at all about anything.
I'm gonna say one thing. He turned on God over some fucking ego.
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious? Are you 10 years old? Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but I mean, look, don't get me wrong. It is what it is. I mean, that's how people operate. But what I'm saying is this is why I'm so sure about this shit we talk about when I talk about Man School and I talk about Ace. It supersedes everything. It is the key to productivity and confidence and righteousness and self-confidence. And it is pervasive in every situation. You could have 3-4 chicks that you rock with. You just got to tell them that that's how you rock. You know what I'm saying? And you got to let them know that this is a decision. This is what it is. This is this decision that I'm making. And when I want this and I'm just not in that same place with you, and you could rock or not rock. And you give people now they can't hold you. They can't hold you as if you're the bad guy when you've set it up front.
It's crazy because you reminded me of like a while ago, back in the day, like about 5, 6, 10 years ago. I was dealing with this chick, and she had a dude that was locked up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And I accept. She was like, "Well, she gave me the truth. She told me the truth. This is what I'm dealing with. I got a dude that's locked up. You know what I'm saying? And he calls me up sometimes.
Yeah.
But this is what it is. If you want to deal with me, then that's that. And I'm on some I'm on my lower vibration, just on some lust shit.
Right.
Looked good. I was like, okay, yeah.
All right.
And then when the dude kept calling, I had to shut the fuck up so she could talk to him.
Yeah.
But I was pissed. I got pissed off. I was getting mad over that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, but at the same time, she broke it down to me.
Right, but this is what you signed up for.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
I signed up for that in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I couldn't take it during the middle of the time.
You know what? Here's the other thing. It's okay that you get to the place where you don't want to put up with that. You get to change your mind. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
The problem is that when you get to change your mind, you get to change the parameters. Listen, this is not what I want to do anymore. You get to make the choices that make you happy. You get to make the choices. You just got to be righteous about them. If you want polyamory and you want to live with 2 girls and y'all live in the same house and y'all sleep in the same bed, and first thing you got to do is you got to get somebody who's into that. Second of all, you got to get 2 women who are into women who like each other, right? and that they like you, and so they don't feel as though they're making sacrifices, so they're getting the short end of the stick. And this is and you can find women who are down like that, because I know women who like eating pussy. So if you're talking about, yo, I want you to be my girl, let's get married. Go ahead, Mike. I hit a nerve. I know girls that like eating pussy, and so if they gotta just suck your dick, they're not gonna be. They gonna wanna dabble with a chick every once in a while.
So when it comes to initiating the three-way, let's say someone's in a relationship and their girlfriend's a little bi-curious, but not like dipping her toes, but not positive. Like, how do you initiate that?
You just gotta. I mean, you have to establish the fact that you are an honest person. Like, Mike, you know me for quite some time, but you also don't know me to ever not say something that I believe. And if it offends you, right? You know what I'm saying? Then you just gonna have to be offended. We can disagree and still respect each other. But if my girl, you gotta, if you're with a girl and she's a little bi-curious, you can push it to her, but you don't really know. She doesn't know if she's into it until she's into it. And even then, it's a situation. Whereas if you start out and you be like, yo, I'm a freak. This is how I get down. So I don't know what you think it is, but this is how I get down. And she, I want a relationship. I want da 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 da. Now, if you're honest about it, she can't get mad at you because you are who you are. She could say it's okay for her to say, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be with a guy who's this kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like he wants he wants to freak off. You know what I mean? Like and it's but what happens is most of the time we're not confident enough. Like we are perceiving what we think that a woman wants before. Like we're assuming, she wants a relationship and she wants to get married, and you know. And let me tell you something. Every girl that you date don't want to marry you. Some of them just want to smash and dash. The only reason why they want to marry you is because they like you. But there's dirtbag dudes where a chick will smash and dash and don't want no part of you in a relationship because she thinks you're a dirtbag. But the other is true also. The point is, if you're established, this is the problem. We're not walking into these relationships being honest. If you're moving like that, right? Like if you're moving like that and you can't, it's just like you said you were dealing with some chick who had a dude in jail. You signed up for it and shut your mouth. Or say, I can't really rock with you like that. I get it. I really like you. And it's okay to say, look, I really like you. And it's just, it's difficult for me to crack this nut every time dude calls. And so I think I'm gonna just bow out. This way you can still respect her. Right?
Yeah.
And she can still respect you, right? And once she realizes that this dude ain't shit and he ain't never getting out of jail anyway, she can also respect the fact that, I really like being with that dude and I wish we could have such and such, and she'll go, if she gets rid of it, if she goes, listen, it's over, breaks up, you be the first dude that she calls.
Yo, that's literally what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was like 10 years ago. And then before I met with my wife, you know what I'm saying? You know, she's like, yo, I'm done with him, this, that, and the I'm like, yeah, okay, but I moved on. I'm done with you now. Like, you
right.
know what I'm saying?
And that's your prerogative too, is that if she, we have the opportunities that present themselves at the time when they present themselves, and it just doesn't always end up that way. Sometimes the timing ain't right. And so what Mike is saying is like, how do you, are you interested in this? Because I'm definitely down with this. It's not a like Mike, I would say it's not like I would say this is not a make it or break it. But if you're interested and you want to explore this, let's get it popping. And then what you do is you have to make her feel comfortable about who you pick. You let her pick. She has to pick.
That's the issue. Exactly. It's the she has to pick thing.
She has to pick. And then once she picks, like when the deed happens, everything, so there's etiquette. There's threesome etiquette. Everything that you do has to go through your girl. You kiss your girl first. You fuck your girl first. You doggy style. She rides first. Even when it comes to the nut, she gets the nut first. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
dope. That's dope.
And because what you in a way what you're communicating with her is that this is something that we are experiencing together, right? And because we're experiencing this together, I want you to understand that I respect you and I respect you exploring this with me. And at any given time that you are uncomfortable and you want to stop, we can, and we can go back to the way it was.
Hey, you know what? Another thing, you picked the key words because you mentioned that your girl has to like her, and the girl has to like her, but the other girl has to like you also.
Yeah,
so it's a mutual feeling between the three. You know what I'm
Otherwise,
saying?
everybody's it's fraudulent. So you get what you get is guys who want threesomes, or I always wanted a threesome, and I'm like, yeah, but does your girl like girls? I don't know. Well, why would you not ask that? So what you're actually asking somebody to do something that they're uncomfortable with. Now, here's the same scenario. What if your girl comes to me and like, yo, I really like other guys. I want to fuck another dude. But, how would you feel about him fucking you? And you'd be like, whoa, wait a minute. Do you understand? It's the same thing. It's the same thing of you making her eat somebody's cooch, right? When she's not interested in going down on nobody. You don't want to be the guy who's going down on a dude reluctantly because you understand what I'm saying?
Yo, you put it in the perfect perspective.
Yeah. If all of a sudden, you don't mind blowing him, right? What? No. What? To the same token, I've said this also. If you got a situation where you got I remember I was one of the dudes who actually did my opening song. He's a comic, and his girl was like, "Yo, I feel like we should have an open relationship because I'm interested in pursuing some relationships with women, right?" And I was like, "Yo, my man, pack your stuff. The relationship's over." Because there's never a situation where a woman goes, "You know what? I know it's difficult for you fucking me over and over again and not fucking nobody else. So let me find a way to give you some more pussy." No woman does that. If she's dabbling, saying I want to dabble, I'm interested in pursuing a relationship with the woman, the relationship is already over. She's already got somebody in mind, and it's already happening. So the relationship is done, because and this is the thing, like I say this to Godfrey a lot of times also, Godfrey likes his freedom, he likes being single, right? So when you go out with a woman and you're hanging out with a woman and she's attracted to you and you're interesting and you're funny and then you hang out with him and he's intelligent and charming and all of this, I go, eventually this woman is going to want more. Right? Now, it all has a shelf life, because and then he's always be like, "Yo, why you just can't leave it the way it is?" It's because if you wanted to leave it, then don't be so dope. Don't be so charming. Don't be so, you know what I'm saying? And you can't be, you can only be who you are. So what happens is this is gonna run its course until the expiration date, and then she's gonna be like, "I want more, and I don't like the fact that it stays in the same place," and eventually emotionally it becomes difficult for them to continue, and so it runs its course, and then you break up and you move on. But if you understand that your non-negotiables are that you want to be single, right? Or you don't, or even if you don't want to be single, but you don't feel that particular person in that way to lock in with them, you just got to be honest with it. And then this way somebody can make a decision about what they want and what they don't want. And they might decide that being with you partially is better than not having you at all. They could make that decision, but you still have to let them make that decision, And it's unfair and it's unrighteous. It lacks credibility when you take that decision away from Women, I mean, and a lot of times women would rather you not give them the option, because when push comes to shove, then they can say, look what you did to me. You lied to me. You deceived me. You did, because now it's a cop-out. Now they don't have to, now they can make you the monster so that they have a reason to leave because you're so horrible. Yeah. But when you when you stay righteous, you don't give them that, everything's up front,
Hey, I'm gonna say this. By the way, I got you on speakerphone.
Yeah.
Is my wife is sitting next to you, and she's nodding her head at you like every word she says. She's like,
yeah,
be real.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what's crazy too is even with that whole Trump thing, there's in no shape or form you could tell me where that guy was righteous. Yeah, I mean, you tell me some guy. Can you imagine if Barack Obama had 3 baby mamas and 6 kids? Oh, God. And then he was fucking a porn star on the low, and then he got 26 sexual assault things and 34 felonies. So he got 26 women and came up and said that he sexually assaulted them, and then you got a rape case. You got a adjudicated rape case, and then you go. Your response is, well, he says what it means. When?
Never. Yo, they got mad at Barack Obama for wearing a freaking tan suit.
A tan suit. Can you imagine him having 6 kids and 3 baby mamas? And what would they have said? I mean, as it was, they talked about Kamala sleeping her way to the top, and she's a stepmom to somebody else's kid.
Exactly.
That she don't. I mean, so it's like the nonsense, the stuff that was being said is just. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Democrats have a problem with messaging. Right, but I've heard. I just watched this chick the other day say, Dizzy, come on. I mean, what Lord Jamal said that this Dizzy broad, this bitch, blah blah blah. I'm like, you talking about somebody and you know them, like they sold you into slavery. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
it's just absurdness, the absurdness, and we gonna fuck around and find out.
That's the perfect way. That's the perfect. At the FAFO. Fuck around, find out. But one other thing I want to say, these idiots talking about, she's dumb and this, that, and third. First of all, she was the district attorney of California. Then she made the general attorney of California.
Okay,
then she was
here's my thing. Stop there. You tell me when somebody of color can move into a position simply and not be qualified. When has there been in a society that is built on free labor and slavery? You tell me where somebody of color, right, is in a position and is not qualified for the position. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Where they just taking people of color and just propping them up in positions without no credentials and with no education and with no experience. It does not happen.
Never happens.
It never happens.
Never. And another thing I want to say before we like, in other words, what I'm gonna say is every time when this idiot I'm gonna quote. Penn Jillette, this dude with cotton candy hair made of piss, talks about women, especially black women. He calls them low IQ.
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like even when he's talking about Maxine Waters, low IQ.
You show me a woman that's passed the bar, has a law degree, and you show me a black woman. And listen, look, Byron Donaldson and Tim Scott, both of them is Uncle Tom's, but they're still more complicated than anybody on their team. Guaranteed that this motherfucker's got the best grades and the best this and the best, and they're scumbags. You know what I mean? So
scumbags.
It's never there is no such thing as people of color being put into a situation where they're not qualified. That just does not happen.
You got to work twice as hard just to get half.
I mean, that's what we learn as children. We learn that, I don't mean to, jump out the window because I know I got a lot of white dudes who follow too. But I got to be honest about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's you know, the credibility of it is what the credibility of it, and you just, you know what I'm saying. We know that, we know this statistically, we know this to be the case. But I appreciate you calling, fam. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm
Thank
glad
you
your
so
lady. I'm glad your lady figured it out, and before she had to fuck around and find out. And I hope
her head like.
And I hope her friends. I hope her friends. You know, I wish them all the, you know, safety but you know, this shit is. I mean, we're 5 days in, and this is going down, and you know, and it's gonna get worse. So
and one other thing about that is they're scared to go to work, man. They ain't even going to work.
That's crazy. And all that does is hurt the economy, because they're part of the workforce and they pay taxes.
They pay taxes.
And they don't get
Period.
and they don't get the benefits for paying the taxes, which is we're gonna be paying $35 for an avocado. You watch and see.
Yeah, with the farmers.
Man, it's
with the workers. Yeah.
But you know, I'm gonna tell you something. I've been on. I co-host with Godfrey, and I've had motherfuckers come at me all kinds of, yo, you don't know what the fuck you're a Kamala shit. Yeah, okay, all right. But here's what you do know about me. I tell the truth, right?
Yep.
I keep my word, and I have empathy for other people. And what I don't know, I shut the fuck up about. I will not give you an opinion on something unless I know what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not saying that there's always a possibility that there may be information that I am unaware of, and I will listen to that when somebody speaks. But here's the thing: there's something that we have to understand. There's a word called, when you get a chance, look up this word. It's called epistemology. Epistemology is the way in which you discern what is true and what's false. Okay. So you have to have a process. You have to have a process from which you. So what I do is, before I have an opinion, I go, okay, what do I think is going on here, and then I spend time and energy trying to prove myself wrong. With the vigor of somebody who has the opposing opinion. And when I can't prove myself wrong, then I put my name on it.
Okay, so the word is epistemology?
Epistemology. I believe it's epistemology.
Okay.
Right? Is that it?
It's epistemology.
Oh, you have a definition for me?
The theory of knowledge, especially with regard to its methods, validity, and scope.
Yeah. So it's the way you find out what's true. And we don't have that. People are not taught that. And now they're removing the Board of Education. They're overturning the Board of Education and stuff. And so you're not even educating people. This is why they go, I love my uneducated people. Because when people have when you have a process from which you discern what's truthful and what's not truthful, right? Then people can't fool you. So
you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
You're using the word discern, and that and it's discerning, but you're using the word discern, including the word in the meaning of epistemology. So I got to look that up, because I know what discerning is.
Yeah.
And wow, that's dope.
And I'm gonna tell you something. When you do this, when you learn, and it takes time to come to. Okay, what is the process which I prove whether or not things are true or false? And you have to come to and you get a methodology, and then you just use that methodology over and over and over again. This is why when I say, when I use the analogy of trying to get a bird from somebody who's going to rob you. You know what I mean? When you have people that don't have real loyalty, show any loyalty, then how can you expect loyalty from somebody who doesn't, within their constitution, doesn't join? And I don't care what your political views are, you're still talking about somebody who doesn't have loyalty. And I think you can also measure that by degrees. So when you like the other things, you said your wife is Puerto Rican, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's a citizen.
Yeah.
So where's the empathy? Where's the empathy for Latinos who are not born into citizenship?
Yeah, and that was the problem. That was the issue that I had talking to her, and she's looking at me right now.
Yeah.
That, are you serious? You're gonna climb up the ladder and pull the ladder up?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Don't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Don't
and
do
because
that.
she's got a U.S. passport. You know, And there's and you know what I'm saying, and we're literally talking about. There's a book you should read. There's a book called what is it? Lies My Teacher Told Me. Really great book.
Oh yeah, I remember you. I remember the show. You broke it down.
It's a great book.
On the show.
It's a great book to start to see when you start to talk about the history of this country and what has happened and how the real truth of the history and how they're literally removing the history because they don't want you to know what the truth is. And we're all better off when we live in truth. You know,
True.
But you can't scam people when people live righteously. You know, and when you could be an unrighteous or person without any credibility, but we gonna see you, and then when we see you, we're not gonna fuck with you. Now, nothing you do, we can't fuck with nothing you do, because when do we know? And this is why truth is so important. If you're a man and you have no credibility and you're not telling the truth, when you tell your lady you love her, how does she believe you if you lie all the time? How does she know you're not lying? How does she know if you say I got your back? How does she believe you when you lie? How does she discern between when you're telling the truth and when you're not? The only way you could do that is that you got to tell the truth all the time.
Yo, there she goes, shaking her head.
So even in something as fundamental as I love you has no validity when you're a liar. You know, young comics always come out. You know, I've been doing comedy 24 years. When I tell a young comic he's funny, he will go, "Oh man, really?" Because I know you don't give it up unless you mean it. Because if you suck and you ask me, we had this little chick that opened up for us in Baltimore, and she was like, "How'd I do?" I was like, "You stunk." You stunk it up, but you've been doing it. You know, you only been doing it a year. You're supposed to shit. You're supposed to shit the bed.
Right. No doubt.
It takes time to do this. And so you have to move in that you're going to stink. Well, I didn't think I did that. But well, then why are you asking me? Why are you asking me something? Because I'm going to give you the answer. She was and I mean, she's adorable, right? Cutest little thing in the world. But I was like, yeah, I'm not lying to you. You know, I don't care how cute you are. You stunk. You know, but when I give up, when I pat you on the back, you know that I mean it, you know? So
True.
Appreciate you, fam. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. Thank you.
All right. Let's get that number up, man. Tri-State Mike in the building. Tri-State Mike's thinking about a little threesome maybe, huh? Maybe.
No. A friend of mine has been dabbling.
A friend. Okay, yeah. You can fuck that up too. I mean, it's a lot of times it's if you're forcing.
That's what I'm trying not to do.
Yeah, if you're forcing somebody into that, right? Then they resent you for it. It has to be an open call for them to want to explore it and not want to explore it. I mean, I had a chick who she was into girls, but she was like super jealous, and she was like, "Yo, we should bring it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not. I'm good." And she was like, "Why? You don't like her?" I go, "No, but you don't know how to act. Like you're not going to bring this chick in and then we smash and then you blame me because you didn't like it or because you didn't you feel a certain kind of way or now you jealous. Now you want to take it. We're not doing that. We're not going to do that. This is something that you want to do. I'm totally with it. I'm down with you, whatever, or I'm not." You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that I was like, "Oh, I would never do a threesome with you," and she lost her mind because it's like, "Why? Why would you know? You want what you can't have." But I said that's really the point. The point is that my peace of mind is more important than your, you know, this emotional roller coaster that you want to put me on about something that don't even matter because in the grand scheme of things, it don't even matter. You know, it doesn't even matter. If we don't, it don't matter. If we do. The only way it's going to matter is if you get thrown for a loop and then we become a problem. It becomes a problem because now you can't look at me a certain way. You know, it's just, you know, it doesn't always. Phone number's up 347-464-2827. We got 10 minutes. Let's get maybe one more call in before we go. I just realized that, you know, I often feel as though, yeah, we got a call. Let's go.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, brother? How are you? How can I help you?
Yeah, so how you doing, Dante? My name is Frank J., formerly known as Ziggy Bronco. I follow you on Instagram.
What up, Frank? How you doing, man? What's going on?
Yeah, just I changed it back to F. Yunchai because I thought Ziggy was getting kind of old. I'm trying to grow up a little bit.
All right, what's going on? How can I help you, Ziggy?
So this could be a little juvenile. I'm trying to figure out when is it okay if it's possible to read signs that a woman might be giving you or maybe not. Maybe I'm just, maybe I'm a little too dull because I'm never really the one to turn down a potential sexual encounter.
Okay.
If there's like a goose chase, like subliminal goose chases. Okay, I'll just get right to the point. I've been doing Argentine tango for maybe about 7 years now.
Okay, right.
Not good at it, but I mean, and by the way, to give you credit, I'm giving you credit for this because from that one Adrian Minkowicz's episode.
Yeah.
During the 2018, 2017 World Cup. So that was like one of my top 5 reasons I got into it.
Okay.
And the thing you said. So I stayed consistent with it, and I stay with it because I do love the art, but I also know that, being with a woman physically, the touch, the hug, the embrace,
right,
is like, it's important though, and I was not going to delude myself into thinking I'm going to fall in love the way girls do. It might have been that way at first though, but I stayed consistent. I actually learned to actually like it and really respect the craft.
Right.
Right. Need to be that guy. So, I've been hanging out and dancing with this one lady. She's about my age. We're both in our mid-30s. I think she's gorgeous. And we've been dancing with each other for maybe, 2 or 3 months on and off. We really, we kind of got close only in terms of, like dancing, just practicing.
Right.
I went to her house Sunday after a milonga, after like a tango social.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, so this girl is inviting me over to her house. Under the true, genuine, I don't want to call it the word guys, but under the true, genuine intention of just practicing dance at her house and also getting along and blah, blah, blah,
Right.
If I'm trying to think about something you said a while ago, like what's more important? Is it having integrity? Like I care about the dance, I really do. Whatever happens after is potentially
okay. But you like this girl?
I like her, and the define like is like I enjoy.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I mean, you like this girl. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't have to define it. What I'm asking you is, you want to know whether or not this girl likes you back.
I guess so. Yes.
Why don't you just ask her?
You know what? Good point. That's exactly what I was thinking. I want to hear from you though. But
why not? Why not just ask her? And then what you can do is, because if you like, what your concerns are is the fact that, because don't get me wrong, like I've had people who I've salsa with or bachata with, where they were like my dance partner, and I didn't want to fuck up the fact that they were because we were a great dance partner. But I think you can say that. You can say, look, I really enjoy dancing with you, but I kind of like you, and I'm just wondering if it was reciprocal, and if it's not, I don't want to fuck up the fact that we dance together. We can still maintain it the way it was prior, but I'm a little interested.
That's actually the conversation, because it's an hour-long drive because I live in Michigan, right? So like Metro Detroit. It's an hour-long drive from the city of Ann Arbor all the way back to, Metro Detroit. And that was the thought in my head. Like, I wasn't beating myself up because I learned to, like, be in control of my emotions, like I learned from your show.
Yeah.
But the thoughts do come and go, and I just go.
But let me say this: you don't want to do something in a long drive like that where you now it's awkward and it's fucked up. You just want to be. I'd love to take you out to dinner and see if we fit. That's all you have to say.
I think we do. We did go out for
dinner.
That
doesn't matter. All you're saying to me, if you haven't asked her, then it's not these assumptions, the reasons why you're asking these questions and you're going through, well, like this happened and that happened, and this is kind of like when guys go, well, she liked my pictures on Instagram. The only way you're gonna find out is if you ask. But what you have to do also is that if you get turned down, then you don't want it to be a situation where emotionally you've made it awkward. What you do is you ask, you shoot your shot. If she's not interested, then what you do is you call up and go, hey, you want to go to the Malongo this weekend, and act like nothing ever happened. But you going through this back and forth through your head when you like this girl and you want to see if it goes somewhere, then you got to ask.
Yeah, I like that. I like that offhanded way, because me saying I like this girl, it could be an overstatement. But I mean, I do. But it's not like
I don't know. All of this verbal gymnastics you're going through about this is unnecessary. Clearly you like her, and if you don't like her, then you want to have sex with her or whatever, to whatever degree is. I mean, you're not going to know what the potential of the relationship is until you have the relationship. So the point is that you're attracted to her and you like her. I mean, I don't understand why you have to define this in such a specific way that well, I don't know, and I'm not, my feelings, all of that is crap. You like her, you want to sleep with her, you want to see where it goes. Now, y'all might date, and it might get to the point where y'all don't get along at all, or whatever, or you're just not a good fit. But you're not going to find that out until she says yes, and then you move forward. So all this other shit that you're going through in your head, 50 Ways This Sunday, is because number one, you're afraid of what the outcome is, and number two, you're afraid that you might be rejected, and you don't think that you in your mind, you don't think that you're good enough to have her. You don't think that you're important enough. And so you're trying to strategize, you're trying to find out the exact right way to do this so that you can get the outcome that you want. And the bottom line is that you're not going to know unless you shoot your shot.
Right. I think, you're hitting on something. I think it's more like the fear of not being able to look at each other in the eye. Like if the rejection
but the reason why that is because you don't have other options. And I'm not even going to ask you if you have options, because I know you don't. Like the reason why you're putting so much emphasis on this is because you don't have other options.
Other options that what I have going on right now, I don't have options.
I know that. I didn't ask you if you did. I know you don't, because there's no way that you would put this much emphasis and this much importance on this if you had other options.
Right.
You might not even find her attractive if you had other options. If your dance card was full, so to speak, excuse the pun, then you wouldn't. She might not even rank something that would. But this is what you're not laying the 5 bricks. You're not going out on dates. You're not putting yourself out there, and you're also. And I guarantee you're not the best version of yourself.
I have made a long strides, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, and whatever you're not doing, whatever that is, or whatever you're insecure about, whether it be your attire, your dress, your ability to converse, your weight, whatever it is, whatever things you're insecure about it, and you don't think that you're good enough. And so you're trying to strategize in a way so that you can come out with the answer that you want. You want the outcome to turn out the way you want. When the reality is that it's just like laying the 5 bricks. You're gonna lose. You're gonna make mistakes, and you don't want to make mistakes, and so you're not putting yourself out there because you don't want to make mistakes, and that's because you don't think that you're worthy of it.
Right, and I think my issue is mostly I can handle rejection pretty well, but my issue was like if it came to pass that hey, and I'm thinking hypothetical, like I think
this is already too much. All this thinking that you're doing says everything. You're confirming everything that I'm already saying. You don't think that you're worthy of this, and that's why. And all of this rhetoric about, well, I just feel blah, 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 all of that is horseshit. You're not being honest with yourself. You're not being authentic with yourself, and you are not who you want to be to present yourself. Because if you were the best version of the absolute best version of yourself, you would put yourself out there and you let the chips fall where they may.
Okay. That makes sense. Like, without over-explaining, that, you're...
You don't have to over-explain. The simple fact that you are over-explaining says to me insecurity. And
there's definitely that.
And that's because you're not laying the 5 bricks, right? You're not going out on dates. You don't know how to socially interact in a way to change the energy and to kind of you haven't really defined who you are and what you are, so that when you can present yourself, well, this is who I am, and then see, because if I present myself in a way that I'm comfortable with who I present myself, if a woman doesn't like me, then she's not for me. I don't feel any kind of way, because we're just not compatible. But when you got all your eggs in one basket and you're doing this and I don't even know if I like her and all of that, you bullshitting me. And you can't bullshit me because I see it. You know?
I guess, you know what, I think just hearing that from you pretty much confirmed the flip side.
I think your speakerphone went off.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. I think everything you just said was pretty much like the flip side of the other side of my thinking, the overthinking. That what you said was what I told myself at the end, and I think that's why I made the call, just to kind of hear you say, just to know, okay.
Yeah, I get it, but you have to, no matter what happens, you should be putting yourself in a perspective so that you are the best version of what you need to present, so that you can present that with a level of confidence where somebody can say, I mean, a woman, how does a woman know who you are? You tell her. So if you are unsure about what you're presenting, she's going to read that you're unsure about it, and then she's going to say, well, who knows his product better than him? So if he doesn't even think he's worthy of putting himself out there, then he must not be shit. So why would I give him a chance from somebody who doesn't even think he's worthy of the opportunity, of the chance? But you're not doing the work. You're not doing the work. I mean, it's great that you're doing, you're doing Argentinian tango, but you didn't use that. You didn't use the Argentinian tango to lay the 5 bricks and to kind of meet women and kind of have situations. Big shout out to James Fontanos, $20. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks for the cash money. I appreciate you. And my dog. Hold on 1 second. Major, what's going on, Major? Major sent me $100. My dog. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you like a motherfucker. Let's get up soon. But yeah, you're in a situation where you're bullshitting yourself, and I'm not gonna let you bullshit me, because the process needs to be what the process is. And if you're not doing what you need to do, then you're not gonna feel like you're ready.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Just if I can just push back just a little, can I?
No, you can't. You can't push back. I know what I'm talking about. Whatever you're gonna tell me is gonna be a sidebar that makes an excuse for things that you have not done.
Right. So just a social interaction in general.
If you have not laid the 5 bricks, then you're not comfortable talking to women on a basis in a non-transactional way. And even though you go to Malongo and you dance and stuff, yeah, but it's in the confines of just so that everybody knows, a Malongo is a practice. It's like a practice party.
Right.
It's a practice party where people who enjoy tango or they come and they dance, act like it's a party, and they just practice dancing because they enjoy dance. But
and conversation, of course. Always.
Yeah, but this is also a situation where you've been doing this. You've been doing this for 17 years, and in the context of 17 years, Since 7 years. Since the 7 9. You said since 2017. But you have not laying the 5 bricks though.
Oh, right, not enough, and
not at all. Not at all. Let's be honest, not at all. Because when the fact that you pop up with this one girl in this one time, in this one moment where you think that there might be a possibility, it says to me that you haven't been doing the work. And, there's a chance that it could work out, but more than likely it's going to fail. You know why it's going to fail? Because you ain't ready for the Super Bowl, bro.
All right. Okay. I guess you answered my question.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to over-explain myself at all. I don't.
No. I mean, I'm not gonna let you anyway. But I mean, you know how to. I mean, Ziggy, you know how to get the consultations. DanteNero.com. If you want to work on this so that you are ready, you know how to get me. DanteNero.com. Click on consult.
All right. Cool. I guess, I did send you a message on Instagram wondering when you go live, and I was going to ask more about the live consultation thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is. All you got to do is book the time, and then we start from scratch. Okay?
Yeah, I don't mind. I have no problem starting from scratch because.
Well, you don't have no choice. You can't start from. You can't. You haven't done it. You got to start from scratch. So that's not even a choice. You either decide to stay in the same place that you are, or decide to learn and move forward, and then and make your life what you want it to be. That's up to you, though. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. I think I've kind of allowed myself to overthink a lot of things without driving myself too crazy.
Yeah, but you did this without doing the fundamental. And Frank, you've been listening to me for a long time. And in no shape or form did have you laid the 5 bricks with any consistency or something, and then you're coming up with this thing, this particular scenario that you're not ready for. Now, I'm not saying it's possible. Maybe she likes you. Maybe but what you're literally, you're paying your rent with lotto tickets, because you don't have the skill set to maintain this and make this grow.
I would just hate to be the one who didn't read the sign in case there was something there and I was too dumb to see it.
That's bullshit. There's no such thing as a sign. We make the sign. We have to be definitive about the decisions that we make and the objective that we want to pursue and how we want things to turn out. We don't get in a boat with no oars and just ride the current. We get in the boat with an intention and a direction and an outcome and a destination. And if we're not doing that, then you're living your life hoping that you hit the lotto. That just doesn't happen. Okay?
So whatever I was doing, but I fell off, it means nothing. It's like quitting comedy after 5 years and you try to jump back in and you're like, boom. But, that's a long time. You quit for 6 months, it's a long time, right?
If you quit for a month, you're out the game. You're out the game.
You lost your,
and then you're in this position where you, because of the fact that she's into tango and maybe she likes dancing with you or she likes your lead. Now you're like, oh, maybe she likes me, man. Yeah, but you didn't prepare for this. You never even prepared for this. And now and this is why you do the consultations early. This is why you prepare yourself so that when the opportunity is presented with yourself, you can make the transition.
Right.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. I'm looking forward to the conversation so that we can,
book it, and you know how to get it. All right. Thanks for calling, Frank. I appreciate you. Don't forget DanteNero.com. Click on consult. You can book time with me, and we can fix that. I mean, all of this stuff is fixable. It's just you got to be willing to make the sacrifice, and once you're willing to make the sacrifice, we go. Don't forget also, please follow on the Patreon. The Patreon is patreon.com/manschool202. That helps support what we do and pays for the equipment and the internet and all of that stuff. So that always helps. Also, the consultations, DanteNero.com. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. I appreciate that. Mike, thanks, Mike, for doing this, man. I mean, we had a great run. This is Mike's last show. So
we have super chats if you want to get to those.
Yeah, please.
We have a ton too. Like this is probably more than I've ever seen. People are loving you this week.
I appreciate it, man. I didn't even know.
So on the Man School page, we got a what is that? Australian dollars?
Yeah.
I don't know what that's. 30 Australian dollars.
Nice.
Okay, there it goes. It says it's from Anthony Albert.
Okay.
So he says love from Australia. Working stage 1 of bricks, growing confidence and spending the time where I need to. Can't call at the moment. Any advice for keeping confident and not overwhelmed by all the changes happening around me?
You just got to do it. You're going to be afraid. You're going to make mistakes. Understand that making mistakes is part of the process. And nobody is good at shit in the beginning. Everybody goes through a process of learning and figuring it out. So it's just stick with it. Just stick with it. What else we got, Mike?
We have Wolf Status, Ricardo Albertson says here. He gifted 20 in Godfrey We Trust memberships. 20 memberships.
Oh,
so
man.
20 random Godfrey fans are going to be night owls now.
Oh, that's dope. That's so dope.
He also gifted $100
earlier
during the stream.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Thank you, bro.
So we have, let's maximize that. We have Discord World. Let's see. Let's go to his channel so I can see his full name. Discworld Edgewitch says, found you through Professor Dave. I have so much respect for you, your integrity, and how you stuck to your principles. You earned a new fan.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, but Dave is a cool dude. I appreciate it. What else we got?
Then we got $10. Bill O sent RQQ to the Qs.
Oh, to the Q. Oh, yeah. Rue.
Oh, is that RQQ too?
That's what he.
I didn't know what that meant.
Thanks, team.
Beavis Lee Ray says, I present the Lesbo LA Fire Chief as Exhibit A for evidence that we are not hiring the most qualified for a position to do the job in America. Also, the Earth is round.
Okay, I appreciate the Earth is round, and I understand that the lesbian chick is not pulling the bodies out. And if you check her, if you check her credentials in terms of how long she's been involved in the LA fires, she's been in flame retardation and she's been in the business. So I don't know if that's the case. I mean, if you want to say that she doesn't have the physical ability to take a 300-pound man and pull him out of the fire, I'll say that. But there's other things. I mean, if you're on a fire. Right, there's people who are hookers. I don't mean hookers, but there's people that bring the ceilings down. There's people that carry the bodies out. Everybody has a specific place to that specific job. And if you're a dude and you're 110 pounds, you're probably not carrying a 300-pound dude out either. So there's that. But okay, whatever. Anybody else?
Yeah, we got it here. We have GT Massive says, bless all family and friends and blessings to the fans of this channel. Said $20. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
And then the last one is Blackwater Ted says, opinions on the DJ Acadiddy scandal. I mean academics.
Academics. I don't know. I got to look into that. I don't even know what that is. But I appreciate you for giving me a heads up. Is that everybody?
Yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, that's all of them.
Okay. Yo, thank y'all, man. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, What Would Dante Do? The Sexual Revolution is being podcasted. Yo, love y'all, man. Peace. We out of here.
Man School 202. Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.